Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to another brand new tutorial from the Graphic Hunters. Today we're gonna check out how to create this fan art graphic design in Photoshop, and this time we're gonna choose the Apple iPhone. Of course you can put your own cell phone and create the simple effect and show it to the world, but we choose the Apple iPhone because it's the most popular smartphone ever launched into the market. It's not because we own an iPhone, because an iPhone nearly costs like about 50k and we don't have that much amount of money, and our own cell phones are a little bit crappy, so I didn't thought that using them would be a good idea. So we have got the stock photo from Google of an iPhone, and then we have these different types of renders that we got from MediaMilitia.com. It's a pretty good website, you can check them out. It's got tons of free stuffs. And then we have these brushes that we got from deviantart.com, and we got this earth image from Google as well. And we have this simple moon, and lastly, by adding some finishing touches, we added the Apple logo and my initials. So that looks pretty good. I'm talking about this graphic design, and I hope this tutorial is gonna be a lot of fun. So let's get started with this tutorial. So let's get started with the simple tutorial. The first thing what we're going to need is this background of this space. So I have that photo right here, and it's Starry Sky Stock by Budgie. I'd like to thank Budgie for this simple stock photo. So now the first thing what we're going to do is that we're going to desaturate this image. By desaturate, I usually mean that we're going to convert its image from its original color to a black and white color. So press Ctrl Shift and U to desaturate an image. I again repeat, it's Ctrl Shift and U to desaturate a particular image. Now we're going to click the zoom tool and right click and fit on screen so we can see properly. Next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to add the earth. So I have that earth photo right here. It's a cool looking earth. I don't know how they get these images. So apart from that, let's choose the magic wand tool, select the black, and before that just double click the background layer and make it a layer and delete it. So we have the background transparent. We have some of these particles that we can remove with the help of the eraser tool. So use the eraser tool for this and remove these extra particles. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's copy this earth into our space image. So Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and go back to our Starry Sky Stock by Budgie, and Ctrl V. The earth is pretty large. It's about 3000 some kind of pixel, so we have to reduce its size. So just zoom out of the image, because we're going to use the free transform tool and we have to resize it properly. So press Ctrl T in our keyboard, and I think we have to zoom out further, and then press Ctrl T in your keyboard and just hold down Shift and reduce its size. Then release the mouse first and then release the Shift button, otherwise this can create some problem. And you can place it anywhere you want. I'll just resize it even more and put it right here. Then I'll go out of the transform mode by clicking the tick mark and zoom into the image. So that looks pretty good, and you can see these lines, these curvy lines that are suddenly appearing. What you can do is right click and select active pixels, so now they're not there. Now right click and select fit on screen so that we get the image back to its original size and we can properly view it. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to add the iPhone, but before that let me just position this a bit properly. It looks kind of awkward. This part also looks quite good. You can put the iPhone here or here or anywhere. I'm gonna find a suitable base for the iPhone. This looks pretty good. Select the move tool and apply, and we have our base. Now we're going to add the iPhone. So let's go to the iPhone stock here it is. After some Mayfutile search, I got this cool looking stock from Google. Of course, you can visit Flickr and DeviantArt for your own stocks if you prefer. So again, the same drill, magic wand tool, select the background, delete it. Then double click this layer, OK, and delete it. And Control D for deselecting a layer if any selection has been made. So now we're going to paste this to our sky stock. So Control A, Control C, go back to the sky stock, and Control V. This pastes the iPhone, and it's very, very large. So again, the same drill, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, and zoom out, and Control T again, and reduce its size. You want to make the iPhone a bit larger than the Earth in order to signify its importance, and that looks pretty good. You can make it stand here. You can tilt it around and play with it any way you want, and that looks pretty good. Select the move tool and apply. And yeah, I forgot to mention, be sure to check out doesnt.com. They've got some tons of cool tutorials, and I got the idea of this tutorial from doesnt.com as well, so be sure to check out doesnt.com. And now we have this Apple iPhone and our Earth, and everything looks quite cool. We can just tilt it a little bit to the other direction like I did in original, so apply, and that looks pretty good. And now what we can do is that we're going to later on add those render elements and then some brushes, and then finally finishing this off with the logo of Apple. So let's get on with it. So let's get on with this tutorial. The next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to add those render elements that are usually rendered in 3ds Max with the help of Mental Ray, and then we're going to add the brushes, and finally wind this tutorial up by adding the Apple logo. So let's get started with it. The first thing what we're going to do is that we're going to add the render elements. So I have different render elements right here, and we're going to use this in our image. So you can go to mediamilitia.com and search for these render elements, and they're pretty cool. There's about 33 of them. I just used the previews, and that's quite enough. The next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to remove this background. So I already made the layer, and now I'm going to select the magic wand tool, select the background, and delete it. It creates a transparency, and then Control D. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to use this particular element. So I'm going to crop it. In order to crop an image, first of all, select the rectangular marquee tool, just right here. Press M in your keyboard, and then drag to the particular selection. That's good. And go to image, crop, and that crops that image right away. Next, we're going to select the eraser tool and remove this extra part. So now we have this element, and we're going to import it in our design. So Control A, Control Z, and go back to your image, Control V.